like Maxi's been working really hard. I guess I'll get some gardening done with him later. See you, little friend.
Hello. I see Maxi's working very hard. He was working hard last night because he told me he found a lot of old puppets that I had when I was a little boy, when I was your age, probably younger. These are called Steiff puppets. They were very fine puppets made in Germany many years ago. They're not made anymore. This one was actually on a television show with glasses on, and it was called Mr. Bunny Rabbit. This was Bunny Rabbit. Then this one is a little bear, wonderful little bear, and I can actually still fit this one on my hand pretty well because the bear has longer arms, so you can see. That's the bear. It's a Steiff puppet. It's good to keep good care of your toys, by the way. These are very old and they're in very, very good shape. And then this one is a little monkey. Actually, it's not a monkey, it's a chimpanzee. And it reminds me very much today of our narrators, our storytellers from the book of Acts. Our storytellers today are named Carmen and Miranda, and they're relatives of this character. They're orangutans. And they're going to tell us more about the book of Acts, which is what we've been studying all this time. Carmen and Miranda are stage performers. That's why they have their fancy fruit hats on. They do a song every year called Christmas Island, and they like to wear their island clothes. So they're going to tell us the story, and we want you to meet now Carmen and Miranda.
Ooh. Hi, everyone. I'm Carmen. And I'm Miranda. We're here to tell you a story about our favorite subject, humans. We like stories about humans because they remind us of us. Well, some of them do anyway. In this story, we're going to see how humans started to spread their good news all over the world. Renardo the Fox told you the beginning of this story about Saul of Tarsus. What an interesting sounding place. Being a bad guy and all, going from town to town, arresting people who preached about Jesus. But one day, Saul had a vision of a bright light. He heard the voice of Jesus, and his life was changed forever. Saul felt so brand new that he started calling himself by his Roman name, Paul. And he began spreading the good news all over his part of the world, around the Mediterranean Sea. Look at this map. Some of our best monkey and ape friends lived in Africa, just south of there. Look, Miranda, there's Italy. It looks like a big boot. And there's Turkey. Hey, I wonder why it doesn't look like a turkey. Anyway, Paul's first journeys were around that part of the world. Then he went to more places like Greece, over there next to Italy, and everywhere he went, new churches were started. Look at this travel line. He must have gone back to some of them to see how they were doing. He traveled for a lot of years. Yeah, maybe about 30 years, and he couldn't swing from tree to tree like we can. He finally had to take a big boat clear to the capital of the empire, the city of Rome. But those old maps don't show all the other humans Paul met, like the 4 daughters of his friend Philip, who never left their house. That's kind of sad. Oh, no, that was not sad at all. Each of the 4 women was a prophet, people who could speak the voice of God, and Paul and other people could visit them and get good advice. Once Paul and his friend Silas met another very powerful woman by a river. She was the head of her household and sold very expensive purple fabric for a living. Her name was Lydia. She had to come to the river to pray one day, and it was there she began talking to Paul. Yes, Lydia became very excited listening to Paul's story about Jesus and his message about God's love for everybody. And she and her entire family were baptized that day. Lydia invited Paul and Silas to stay there while they were spreading their good news in the town. Then the story got really exciting. When they were in town, they were followed around by a slave girl who had the power to read minds. The slave girl's owners made lots of money by charging people for the slave girl to tell their fortunes. And people can be so cruel and greedy. Oh, yes they can. In those days, human thought fortune tellers had a spirit inside them that gave them that gift. Paul said, "In the name of Jesus Christ, come out of her." She believed what he said, and the spirit left her. Pretty wild stuff. I told you it was exciting. Since the slave girl could no longer tell fortunes, her greedy owners couldn't charge for their services anymore. They had Paul and Silas arrested and beaten and thrown into jail. Monkeys and apes would never do that. No, monkeys don't like cages, but Paul and Silas were good humans. In the deepest cell in the prison, and with the chains on their feet, they were still singing religious songs called hymns and praying at midnight. Then even more excitement happened. A very strong earthquake began to rattle the entire prison. All of the doors shook, and the cells, then the chains, they fell off of the prisoners. The prison guards saw what had happened and knew the Roman soldiers would have killed him once they had let all the prisoners escape. He thought, "I'll kill myself first." Then he reached for his sword. After that, Paul cried out in a loud voice, "Stop! We're still here!" The guard couldn't believe they hadn't run away. He asked Paul and Silas to tell him about all their faith in Jesus. His life was changed that very night. He took Paul and Silas to his home where their wounds were cleaned, and later the prison guard and all of his family were baptized. Just like Lydia's family. Paul and Silas went back to Lydia's house and told them what had happened. Their church community had begun to grow. Since Paul and Silas couldn't swing from tree to tree, they had a long and slow journey ahead of them, and everybody said goodbye for now. Lydia turned her house into the first church in all the continent of Europe. The word spread from Lydia's house, then to other houses, and finally all over the world. Lydia and other humans like her just amaze me. Can you imagine how much more they could actually do if they could swing from tree to tree? Well, a lot of them can be pretty smart. Maybe someday they can evolve to our level.
This is a really cool puppet. I'm glad Dan has taken such good care of it all these years. It's a Steiff, and it's about, I think it says it's about 70 years old. A lot older than Dan. So, it's very good. Really good things. It really works well too. Yeah. And that reminds me, Carmen and Miranda were here earlier today, and they were so funny. Did you like their little fruit hats? It's kind of fun, isn't it? So, I was asking Carmen, it's like, why the fruit hats? And she said, well, if you're not going to be able to eat it after you're through wearing it, then what's the use? I think that's kind of funny. So, speaking, it's like, I wonder where Maxi is today. It's like, oh, there's a note here. Let's see. A note. Oh, see. I'll get the monkey to help me read it. Let's see. Hi, Charlie. It's all written, too. Look at that. Signed Maxi. That's funny. Hi, Charlie. I worked late last night, and I'm sleeping in. My sister, Misty, will bring you the coloring sheets today. See you soon, Maxi. Oh, and he drew a picture of himself, too. That's kind of funny. Sister? Maxi has a sister? I didn't know he had any other family here, but... Well, you must be Misty. This is Misty, everyone. Hi, Misty. How are you? So you're taking care of Maxi's chores today, aren't you? Well, you know, Maxi usually brings me a coloring sheet, and you're just adorable. You want to meet my monkey friend? Oh, I guess not. Okay. You have a coloring sheet? You have it? It's very sweet of you to stand in for Maxi today. I didn't know he has a sister at all. And it makes me wonder how many other mice live in this house. Okay, so, oh look. Okay, so here, my monkey puppet friend, because it's me operating it. The monkey sisters, Carmen and Miranda. Actually, they're not monkeys, they're orangutans. So, there you go. Well, Misty, thank you so much for helping today. I guess I'll see Maxi later on. And you're adorable. I like your little brooch there. That's very cute. So, it's funny. So, and your hair looks marvelous. So, yeah, I know I need to have a little dust on me, do I? So, all right, well, thank you so much. I guess I'll see you later. All right, bye-bye. Oh, that's funny. All these mice.
Well, that was fun meeting Maxi's sister, wasn't it? You know, I think he has a brother too. But it's time now for all of us to say goodbye. We'll see you soon, and go in peace.